Hello everyone, welcome to GoTarryn TV. I'm Taryn, the traveling trainer of GoTarryn Personal Training here in the greater Atlanta area, about to welcome yet another great returning guest here, also in Atlanta, Georgia, Ms. Catherine Luciano. Now before Catherine comes on here and joins us, I'd like to ask everyone out there while you're watching today's video blog, if you'd be so kind as to like the video, leave us a comment, and share it with all of your social media friends out there. Catherine Luciano, she is the athletic director of Concourse Athletic Club with Wellbridge, and as you know, she came out to Georgia State University again and guest spoke for me at Fitness Program Management. We're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to also ask her a little bit more about her Pilates background and some of her concepts on fitness, nutrition, and some crazy things that happen with personal training clients on some of their crazy tendencies. And, of course, we'll be following up, seeing how her 2018 is going at Concourse Athletic Club. And she'll be telling us all about that when she comes on here. And remember, with GoTarryn Personal Training, it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. Stay tuned for Catherine Luciano. All right, welcome back, everybody. We are back on GoTarryn TV, as you can see side by side, welcoming back one more time as our guest today, the athletic director of Concourse Athletic Club, Ms. Catherine Luciano. Kat, how are you doing today?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Thanks so much for being able to come back on here. And it's funny because the last time you and I chatted on Skype, which was the first time we met, it was like winter and cold and snowy outside and icy on the roads. And here we are today as we're recording this. I'm actually hot right now in my office, like I'm sweating because the air conditioning's not working in here, and it's like 75 degrees outside. So welcome to Atlanta.
Yeah, it feels like 80. It's quite nice.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So, and I, of course, I got the pleasure of seeing you a couple weeks ago when you came out to Georgia State University and guest spoke at Fitness Program Management again. I want to thank you so much for that. They absolutely loved you. Hopefully it gets you some more intern prospects too. And again, I can't say enough. You did a wonderful job in detailing the commercial gym of Concourse and, of course, the umbrella Wellbridge. And, it's just amazing to see what Wellbridge is doing, making a statement here in the fitness world on athletic clubs. I mean, it's just incredible. I learn so much every time you come guest speak, just more and more things that you're doing.
Well, thank you for having me. It was great. I've heard from several of your students so far. So it's definitely working as far as we're getting interns, and it may turn into trainers. So that's fantastic.
I'm glad to hear that. They're really good kids, and I'm glad that they could connect with you and other great people to get on the road to start their career. And again, we're doing everything we can to help them out, and hopefully it's a synergistic relationship where they could be a good asset to the team and be future personal trainers, instructors, or what have you, or even managers themselves too. Yeah, Catherine, again, I thank you so much for being on here because today I wanted to just follow up and touch on a few things since we last spoke. I just wanted to I was curious, a couple of things that I wanted to know from another athletic director / personal trainer's viewpoint, and just a series of questions I had specifically here, just so I learn more about you. Can you take us through a little bit, because I know Pilates is one of the things that you specialize in. Tell us a little bit more, please, about, I guess, Pilates in general. What's your outtake on it, and are you impressed with Pilates' presence here in Atlanta? Is it something that is growing? Do you see it on the upswing?
So Pilates, that's very interesting. As a matter of fact, Pilates was the first certification that I acquired
I remember
prior
that.
to,
Mm-hmm.
before I even got certified as a personal trainer. And
right.
And so Pilates, I full-heartedly believe in it. It's fantastic for core, for posture, for strengthening, lengthening. It's kind of known by dancers for the most part. I mean, if you know any of the history of it, so that kind of long and lean is their deal.
Okay.
So very much posture and being able to hold yourself with poise and just great posture. But anyway, so I'm a big fan of Pilates, and what I've seen in the last, let's see, I've been a manager for 11 years. I believe, about 11 years. And it's funny because in an athletic club, while I believe that Pilates is growing, we have Pilates studios all over the place.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, one of my former trainers, we got him Pilates certified because we needed him. And he has now moved on and opened his own Pilates studio.
Cool. Very good.
I believe that it's growing, but in an athletic club, I've seen it change to where I feel like it's a lot harder to offer private sessions or semi-private sessions on Pilates equipment. And I believe that's because it has grown so much in private studios that it has drawn people from the athletic club because they'll seek out that specialty at, a location that is specifically for that. So I've seen it change through the athletic club.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I didn't think of it that way. So if someone's probably thinking, "Hey, I just want Pilates," then they might maybe Google search the nearest Pilates studio rather than knowing that it's like at a Concourse or Athletic Club Northeast per se. Then I never thought of it that way, but I could see your point on that, though.
I would also say I guess I would say it's becoming more commercialized too. I mean, now they have places such as Club Pilates, where it's your traditional Pilates instructors would think that that's losing a lot of what the Pilates aspect really was about.
Ah, I see.
You may go into a place like that and you're going to find, 12 to 20 different reformers. And so it is just kind of a mass produced sort of product at that point, but it's allowing for the instructors to make more money and they can keep the price point down. So it's attractive to the consumer. And I believe that that's part of what's really hurting it in an athletic club such as ours.
Interesting. Very, very. And I can't remember, Catherine, but do you teach Pilates too on your schedule over at Concourse?
I haven't been, and the last time I even taught a class was probably about 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. Do you take it for yourself, like with exercise, though? Like take any of the classes?
I do, yeah. I try to keep it fairly regularly, about once a week, but sometimes it's a little less often than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do still take it and keep up with it.
I've actually never taken a Pilates class, believe it or not.
You have to, Taryn. You have to.
I'd like to. It's funny because there's a section in our textbook from one of the classes that you have not been at Georgia State that I'd love for you to come check it out. And in one of the sections, it's Pilates, and it goes over that. And we haven't had a Pilates demo, so if you're ever interested or available to come out, I would love to have you come and do that for our other students and do a Pilates demo / class, mini express class, maybe something like that, or one of your instructors too. I mean, that would be great. I think they'd like that.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, I would try it out then. I really would, because at the gym that I go to and do a lot of training at, I don't think they offer it. So I just haven't had the opportunity really. But if I get a chance, I definitely will. That's cool. And then shifting gears, Catherine, another thing I wanted to ask you about. Especially in Atlanta, but obviously throughout the country, we're seeing a huge trend of these gimmicky weight loss supplements and diets. And, I'm sure you have the same thing. You have a lot of clients that come up to you and ask you, what's the best pill? What's the best diet to go on? Or I want to buy this. I saw this advertisement on TV. We've seen it all. Like, what's your thoughts on just trendy things out there? And, again, do you have an opinion on, I guess, what we see out there? You can name it, Nutrisystem, Weight Watchers, all the rest of them. Like, we didn't really talk about that, but what's your thoughts on, diet, nutrition, supplements, and all?
So now you're getting to my hot button. The whole reason I got into fitness was nutrition.
Yeah.
So my family has always had diabetes in the background, and I really became interested in diabetes education, and I started studying nutrition, which is what sent me into personal training school. Yeah. So I study nutrition almost nonstop, and being a woman now that's over 40, the same things are happening to me that has happened to my clients, year after year, and so it has taken me in a different direction with nutrition. So to address the supplements and things, well, let me first say that I'm also someone who has a kidney transplant, and I don't remember if we were able to talk about that before or not, but
no.
I've had a kidney transplant now for about 13 years.
Okay.
And so being so passionate about nutrition with supplements, you never know what you're getting in a supplement. They're not regulated. And not that, there's a fine line there with regulation and things as well. But without knowing exactly what's going into them, you have no idea what it's doing to your body.
Yeah.
And so my standpoint is, don't ever take something that you don't know what that effect could be, because absolutely anything could be in that pill.
Good
And
point.
that's just a risk I'm not willing to take, having, again, having a transplanted kidney. I just don't like to play around with my health. So having said that, supplements and things, you would certainly need to see someone who can do blood work and find out exactly what you need,
Hmm.
before you take anything. And then, of course, you need to find out more about those pills and where they're coming from, what's going into them, and do your research. So for anyone that even takes multivitamins, I mean, the one little disclaimer I would say is make sure that you find the little USP symbol on your bottle, because that at least means that what's in there, what they claim is in there, is actually in there.
Hmm.
So that's kind of like the only thing we have right now for any kind of supplements or pills.
Hmm.
And as far as weight loss goes, it's so unfortunate because we get very desperate, and I'm including myself. So again, a fitness professional, but who also has experienced, some weight gain because of female hormones and things like that. You do get very desperate, and you feel like you'll do anything to stop that gain and reverse it, and I don't know how many $1 billion industry the weight loss, industry is these
Yeah.
days, but I can understand it. But for sure, it's, we can't get away from the safe, effective weight loss. You have to do proper nutrition and exercise in order to achieve, sustainable, safe weight loss.
Hmm.
Um, and I know plenty of people who have gone through even surgeries and things, and it's so scary to me to do something like that to your body when, no matter what the case is going to be, I mean, after surgery, you still have to make those dietary changes. So get a support system, talk to someone who knows what they're talking about, someone who studies it and can point you in the right direction to make sure that you do everything that you can and get the cleanest, sources of nutrition that you can. And, change your diet first, because you're going to have to, and no matter what you do, it's going to come down to changing your diet, and it'd be great to, I'm an Italian from the Northeast, so we like to eat. So, I mean, um, I'm at a point where now well, I've always eaten like 6 times a day, trying to keep my metabolism
Oh
up.
wow.
And, but so I eat 5 or 6 times a day, and almost anything I want, within reason. So
Yeah.
it's better to be able to put enough nutrients into your body to sustain your daily activities and have enough energy for the things that you want to do and be safe.
Yeah. Well,
I don't even like to go to the hospital when I have to, so let alone anything elective.
oh yeah, it's all quality, like you said. You nailed it. Like I agree. I now admit, I'll be the first to admit that I'm a victim of it. I fall for like the energy drinks and the 5 hour energies and all those, because sometimes at the end of the day or in the afternoon, I'm just like, I need something. Like pick me up. I've even got my coffee machine in the office, and if I can't get to that, then I'll be the first to fall victim to that. But yeah, like I've really tried actively to tell other people, hey, watch those sugary energy drinks, and they got so many ingredients in there, and half the stuff you read it, I can't even pronounce it, and I'm like, what are you
Right.
really? Yeah, so it's definitely
Now
scary.
yeah. So I said that recently, I've come across some things that have changed my mind completely.
Okay.
Now the nutrition that I research now is not necessarily weight loss and fitness approved, if
Uh
you will.
huh.
You'll hear a lot of fitness people still talking about information that's outdated. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, nutrition, it's very behind in what we think about nutrition.
Sure.
And so, I mean, we could go on for hours and hours. I'll talk to you about nutrition all day long and point you in the direction of different things. But everything that I study now and read about now has to do with, um, let's see, not supplementing, but supporting the
Mhm.
thyroid.
Mhm.
A lot of the things that we do, especially in fitness, suppress the thyroid and really tax it.
Mm.
And most of us end up finding ourselves in a hypothyroid state.
Mm.
And so that has to do a lot with those hormones I was talking about. It's for men and for women, though. But a lot of us are so stressed out. We're full of cortisol. We work too much. We sleep
Yeah.
too little.
Oh
We
yeah.
are go, go, go all the time. And then we're trying to kill ourselves in exercise. And we never take that rest and recovery. And all that's doing is really overstimulating your thyroid to the point that you can't function. And
Yeah.
I fully believe that that's where, cancer and diabetes and fibromyalgia and name it. I believe that that's where it's all coming from. It's stemming from too much inflammation and not enough recovery and rest. And it's so funny now to find out how sugar and salt and those things are not the devil. They're actually very good for the body. And
Yeah.
you just have to know where to get it from and how to implement it into your diet. Not that you can sit around eating cookies all day long, but an occasional soda in certain circumstances is not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to find out like a lot of the things of what we believe and why we do, and how that's changing for me now. And I feel like it's healing my body. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, that you said a mouthful. You're right. I think that it's very important. I'll use myself for example. I never slow down, and I continue to go, and I don't sleep enough. I do work crazy hours too, but in our business, we're going to do that, and I guess it's about working smartly. And you're right. The information's out there, and the research is there. So I try to be aware of it and take advantage of it. But if clients are to come up to you and ask you, for nutritional advice, at least you can get them on a good base, like a foundation of, well, here's, some general principles, and just stay away from all the gimmicky TV, internet, radio ads and all that's out there. Because again, like you mentioned, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we're seeing a lot of these companies, like these fads, being able to take advantage of people, and I guess they sucker them in too, so it's not good.
Yeah, one good question is always ask yourself, who stands to profit from me believing this?
Right.
That's one of my favorite questions now is who's going to make out if I go with this, if I buy this, if I put this in my body? Is it going to send me to the doctor and keep those doctors making a lot of money? Not that we need our doctors, but I mean, the pharmaceutical industry is a big part of the problem.
Oh,
unfortunately.
yeah, certainly. That's another whole tangent right there. Like, one thing that I get annoyed of, do you ever get hit up, Catherine, by people who, like network marketing, direct sales, pyramid schemes, stuff like that? Do they ever try to get a hold of you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And my trainers and yeah.
How do you address that, Catherine? Like if someone comes up to you and they say, Catherine, I've got the best energy drink, I got the best supplement, all you need is 2 people, then you get those 2 people. You hear it all the time. Like, do you have a quick go-to of like, I don't know. I mean, because I've tried a lot of them, I'll be honest with you. I've been suckered in a lot of times.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's easy at work, actually. If they approach me or call me or something, stop into the gym. It's easy that way because then I can tell them, listen, our company standpoint is that we don't support any supplements, so it's easy to kind of shut that down from work.
Sure.
Outside of that, I mean, I'll listen a lot of times because, if we don't keep an open mind, we'll never learn anything.
True.
But I just ask as many questions as I can, and I ask to read the ingredients myself, and then I just tell them, well, if there's something that I can point to and say, listen, I already know what this is and what it does, I'm not interested, or like show me the research, and that's where a lot of them they can't show you that because also they're salespeople. So, well, I can put you in touch with so and so, and I can have you, and I can send this, and and I already do my homework, so I don't need it from a particular supplement.
Yeah.
So, I usually put them on the spot. Not that everyone could do that, but sometimes I even tell them like I care too much about my health. I do have a kidney transplant. Like I don't mess around with stuff like that. So it's usually not difficult to me because again, I'm a hard-headed Italian from the Northeast, and it's easy for me to go.
That's excellent. I'm glad you can put them in their place, and you did say it right. Who gains the profit from it? Generally, if you follow the money, I guess you could find out. It does come down to the bottom line, I guess, a lot of times. Because these salespeople, they're trained it's instilled in them, and like you said, well, let me get my manager who's a diamond member. They have a boat out here and a house over there, and they're going to talk.
Exactly.
Again, I've been young and naive, and I've fallen for it and waste a lot of money, but I guess we learn from it.
Sure.
And then the other thing I was going to ask you, Catherine, because as a personal trainer, I'll tell you a couple of my biggest pet peeves that I've had. Working with just in general, and this isn't a regular occurrence. This is few and far between, thankfully. But I wanted to get your perspective from your outtake on, and again, we could talk policies and procedures and all that. But for example, using myself as a personal trainer, and I've got to report my clients and such. I'm going to throw at you some of the biggest, to me, like pet peeves or just nature of the beast that we deal with on a regular basis. What do you do about someone who chronically comes in late for a session? Is there some way that you just pretty much handle that, or do you do that case by case, or do you have that problem at all?
Definitely have that problem. So,
Yeah.
the most extreme case is, and I assume you're talking about clients and not trainers, right?
Right, right. Because usually,
Okay.
yeah, it should never be the other way around. Obviously, yeah,
Right.
for sure. Yeah, then that's a big
Um,
problem. I know you would not put up with that. Any of your trainers doing that.
so, I had one who, this was my worst case. I loved this client to death. I really did. But she was so late that sometimes, and I kid you not, for an hour session, she showed up once 55 minutes late. Now, obviously I wasn't waiting 55 minutes, but
Yeah.
just to show you how bad it got.
Wow.
She was the type of person, and I had a friend like this before too. She was the type of person that looks at the clock and goes, "Oh, it's 3:29. My session's at 3:30. I have to go."
Oh God.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
just knew that that's what was happening.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so we tried everything. I mean, I tried motivating her to get on time. I tried calling her, texting her, like, "Hey, see you in a little bit," those types of
Yeah.
things. So ultimately I had to sit her down and just say, "Listen, most times you're getting here 15, 20, 30 minutes late. Wouldn't it make more sense if we just went to 30-minute sessions? That'll save you a lot of money,
Right.
and we'll go to 30-minute sessions." So we tried that, and that's where she would show up and we had 5 minutes, 10 minutes, so it didn't help.
Oh
And that's
God.
how I recognized what type of person I was dealing with. So at some point I asked her, "Listen, maybe I'm not the best trainer for you." I
Yeah.
took it on myself to think that it was my fault. And I said, "Maybe I'm not the best trainer for you. Maybe you should see someone else, and maybe
Yeah.
they would be able to keep up with you a little better." So as a manager, like, I have no problem passing on clients to my trainers,
Sure.
And so we did that for a little while. She accepted, and she goes, "Okay." And so she switched to another trainer, and then I noticed that she wasn't coming at all anymore.
Oh God.
So I ran into her at the club one day and I said, "Hey, how's it going?" She had just come from a massage, and I said, "I noticed you haven't been training in a while. How's it going? What's going on?" And she was kind of hemming and hawing, and so finally I just said to her, I said, did you want to come back to me again? And she was like, "I really do."
Huh.
And that kind of broke my heart. So I took her back on, and what I realized through that is, she would come in only once a week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always a challenge too, because she didn't come to the club any other day. And,
Of course.
so my conscience told me obviously to stop, like, that's why I sent her on to a trainer in the first place, to another trainer.
Yeah.
I wanted her to get more from the sessions, and I thought maybe I just wasn't doing enough. And so when I realized what was going on, that's the point that I realized that a lot of people aren't coming to actually get physical results.
Yeah.
She was getting a mental result from seeing me. She loved talking to me. She liked, just having that person to chat with once a week, because it wasn't about the workout. It was what else she needed from our session.
You were her
and so that was
therapist.
extremely important. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew everything about her life and everything, so it made me realize that people are going to come to you for different reasons.
Yeah.
She didn't need to get a physical result. She absolutely loved just hanging out with someone at the gym and feeling like, of course, she was doing some movement and doing some things that were good for her.
Yeah.
So that was enough for her,
That's a great story. I like that. And again, anybody watching this who's a personal trainer has their own stories of dealing with that. But that's good. I like that. It sounded like took that negative and turned into a real positive there, and won her over. How about another one? This one is with clients chronically paying late. I deal with that a lot too. I've had actually clients who I've trained like 6 sessions in, and then I've never seen them before, and I've eaten that. And that's my fault. I know that's dumb on my end, but do you ever have? I know at concourse, I'm sure, again, policies and procedures, usually you wouldn't even train the first session until they pay. But have you ever had that issue where somebody maybe said, "Hey, I'll get you next time," or just ended up paying late?
So you can laugh, but personally, no, it's never happened to me.
Oh, okay,
But
no,
I'm
that's
also,
good. That's good.
Again, being a manager, that's why it doesn't happen to me.
Yeah.
Does it happen to my trainers? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, they're very good-hearted about it. Most of them don't have a business sense. They're trainers. Like,
Sure.
"Hey, man, it's cool. They're going to come back. They're going to train," until they don't.
Right. Right.
So I kind of have to play that game of, angel on your shoulder, devil on the other shoulder, of like, we have to look at the worst case scenario because I've seen it before.
Yep.
So unfortunately though, trainers, they'll pay attention when it affects them. And so, we do see that, and it happens. It'll continue to happen. The trainer, "Oh, they'll come next time." And most of the times, we could take the client at their word, and they're still members and they're
Right.
still clients.
Yeah.
Most times it works out okay. Worst case, a lot of times is that it just delays the trainer getting paid because I can't pay them until we get paid.
Yeah.
But in the absolute worst case, in the other end of the spectrum is, these people have joined the club. They've done some sessions. They leave the club. They never pay for the membership or the sessions, and we have to send them to collections. So
God.
it's a risk that you take, but it does happen. So I try to get on top of it. We have reports, that you can run that show anyone that hasn't paid for a session that was done. Follow up with the trainers, and you try to get it taken care of early so that it doesn't get you too deep into the hole in case it does go bad.
Yeah, Catherine, I really think that, like, as trainers, we're not respected enough to where you would never go to your doctor, for example, and sit there and say, "Oh, I forgot to pay. I'll pay next time I come, or I'll send you the payment." I hope one day it comes to where it'll change and we'll get a little bit more, prestige, I guess, and respect from the clients. That would be nice.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd like to see it from the healthcare field also.
That's a whole nother topic right there.
We're wishing for things.
Yeah, certainly. We could certainly see it hopefully changing there. I like that some healthcare companies are doing like the Silver Sneakers program, or they're helping to supplement or subsidize memberships for clients or for members. I think that we need to see more of that. I think that'd be great. Yeah. That's terrific, Catherine. Well, let me ask you a couple more questions, too, if you don't mind. What about, okay, so we spent last time talking about Concourse the whole time. Real quick, please, how is Concourse Athletic Club going? What's going on there? How's the first, I guess, couple months been for the year, for the calendar for 2018 at Concourse?
Well, everything's been pretty good except for the weather last month.
Yeah.
So we had a quite a bad little spell there.
Oh, but, horrible.
But other than that, things are going well. We've hired a couple new trainers recently. As a matter of fact, I had one return that used to be there. So that's really great.
Great.
But yeah, everything's going well. We're looking into some different things. We are like some additions to the club, some upgrades. We've completely gutted our cafe downstairs, and we're rebuilding the cafe. Nice. So we're gonna have a nice brand new cafe in the next month or so. And so we're looking into other capital improvements we can make to the club. So it's going really well.
Excellent, Catherine. Well, This is a terrific point. I'm glad to hear that. I can't thank you enough for your time. Before we let you go, though, great transition for people watching. If they want to go to Concourse Athletic Club, if they've never been there, they want to try it out, and let's say they want to reach you directly, what's the best ways they can learn about Concourse and get in touch with you directly?
So thank you for that. And you can go to concourseclub.com and check out the club, get a free pass, see the different things that we have to offer there. If you want to get in touch with me directly, my email is cluciano@wellbridge.com. And I can also be reached at 770-698-2081. That's my direct line at work.
Perfect. We'll have that up on the screen here momentarily for everybody to take down. Well, Catherine, this half hour flew by fast, just like last time. I knew it would. And again, I can't thank you enough that this was a lot of fun. I hope you'll take me up on the offer to not only come back for another Skype video blog here to catch up as we progress in this year, but also to come back out to Georgia State and do another class for us, too. They love you. So, and
sure
again,
thing, I would
it's
love
a pleasure.
to.
Oh, great. Well, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Well, Catherine, thanks again for your time. You have a wonderful rest of your day. Always great to catch up with you.
Thank you, Karen. You too. You too.
Pleasure.
Have a great day.
Thank you. And folks
Enjoy
watching.
the weekend.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It is the weekend, finally. Yeah, last weekend of the month. We're a sixth of the way done with this year. I can't believe it. That's insane. Seriously.
Oh, my God.
That's crazy. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Well, happy rest of February, Catherine, and we will talk to you soon. And again, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.